Good afternoon, evening, folks, whatever time it is. I'm working on a 2013 F150. This one's got the 5-liter in it, which has the 68, 68 R80, or 6R80, I'm sorry, 6-speed. As you know, you got to check it or fill it from underneath. It's got a 19 millimeter. I normally use an open end wrench. 19 mil. It's got this cap on top. I went ahead and changed the fluid in the filter. I got it all from Ford. My cost was about $87. That was 12 full quarts. Bought a case. You will need Mercuron LV. I personally just like going to the dealer when customers need it done. I've had mine running for about a good 20 some odd minutes now. The hardest thing to do is to get the fluid in there if you don't have a nice little pump like this. This one is a pump / evacuator. So if I put too much in, I can always suck some out. What I recommend doing is when it's cold, you put your pan back up with the new filter inside, obviously. Go ahead and fill it up. And just when it starts to pee out the top, just when it starts to run down here, go ahead and go inside, start the engine up, cycle through all the gears, reverse, neutral, drive, manual, first, second, whatever, just cycle all the way through, give it about a good 5-second delay in between. Then you come back underneath here and you add some more fluid. I like to fill it, about up to here. And then you just let it idle. You got to do it at a certain temperature to check it. Keep caution. Got this hot catalytic converter here. I'm just using regular latex gloves. I should use leather, but I've been doing this a while and I get burned all the time. Let me go ahead and wipe that clean. Put that back inside. This is kind of a bear to read. You got an A on the bottom, center divider, and then you got B. I've had mine running, and then we'll consult the manual over there so we can get a good, accurate, because you're supposed to check this thing when it's at operating temperature. I saw a video earlier where a gentleman just wanted it at the bottom, very bottom of the A, which I don't know. This thing's so finicky. Let's consult the manual now because I'm right in the dead center. So, transmission fluid level chart. Note the vehicle should not be driven if the fluid level is low, blah, blah, blah. We know that. The transmission fluid fill plug is located near the exhaust system. The exhaust may be extremely hot. Be careful. Note, if vehicle is operated for an extended period at high highway speeds in city traffic during hot weather or while pulling a trailer, the transmission fluid must cool down to obtain an accurate reading. Note, if the transmission starts to if the transmission starts to slip, shifts slowly, or shows sign of transmission fluid leaking, the transmission fluid level should be checked. The transmission is equipped with an internal thermal bypass located in the case. The internal thermal bypass valve will shut off transmission fluid flowing to the transmission fluid cooler if the transmission fluid temperature falls below normal operating temperature. Refer to the transmission fluid level check. All right. So like I mentioned, the transmission fluid level indicator has two areas for the fluid level. A cross-hatched area, which is labeled alpha, A for alpha, and a dotted area labeled B for Bravo. Use the dotted label B area when checking the transmission, which it means it needs to be at the higher level. The correct transmission fluid level is at the upper level of the dotted marks on the transmission fluid level indicator. So, as pictured here, we should be in the Bravo area when it's warmed up. All right, let's try to find a good So that's what they're saying is is that it needs to be in the upper cross areas. Special tools, Mercron LV. I just want to find a good, so there we are, it shows it. With the engine running, place the transmission selector valve in each gear position and hold approximately 5 seconds. Place the transmission selector lever in park. With engine idling at between 6 to 750 RPMs in park, position on a hoist. Not all you guys are going to have that luxury. Use some jack stands, chock the front wheels. Just use some caution. Remove the transmission fill plug. Transmission fluid level indicator assembly located on the passenger side front part of the transmission. Separate the transmission indicator cap from the fill plug. Wipe it clean. Stick it down in there. So yeah, like it said, it needs to be between those two. Here we go. Using the scan tool, verify the TFT is between 89 Charlie and 102 Charlie. For those of you in the not using the old metric system, etc., it's 193 Fahrenheit to 215 Fahrenheit. The transmission fluid level must be at the upper level of the dotted mark, between 193 Fahrenheit and 215 Fahrenheit. You guys might not have a scan tool. And if you don't, if you go underneath the settings, sorry. If you go underneath the settings on the dash, it should have a section where it says gauges. I don't always like to use those gauges, but when you guys don't have a $10,000 Snap-on scanner like I do, then you're gonna have to go here where it says trans temp. And dude, this thing takes forever to warm up. I've already been at it probably a good 21 minutes, and only climbed to 123. So you can gently give it some RPMs to about, I don't know, about 1,500 to 2,000 RPMs in a ventilated area. I got the door cracked. It's pretty damn cold out there. But to recap, you're gonna need a 19 millimeter to open the cap. Have it running. Have caution because you're going to be right next to that catalytic converter located on the passenger side. You're going to want it in the upper hatch mark on the Bravo section of the stick. Wipe it clean. Get it to operating temperature between 193 to 215 if I remember right. And it's going to take you a little while to warm it up. Normally I'd close it up and then I'd go drive it, but you don't want to get it too hot. That's the thing. You don't want to get it too hot. I personally am going to leave it right where it is. Let's check it. It's hot in here. Well, it's hot in this spot. I just used my pinky or my little finger ends to get it. If anything, I'm probably pretty doggone full right there. I'm using my trusty so I'm a little full on that. I'm right at the very top, Bravo. What I'll do is I'll suck a little bit down with that suction deal. I'll have it probably, I would recommend when it's cold, have it either in the middle. Yeah, have it like right here in the middle or on the very, just slightly below the B. That way thermal expansion brings you just slightly above the B, or maybe even shy of the top. Because that's what it calls for. You got to be in the upper section of B, according to the manual. And to recap those temps again, 89 Celsius to 102 Celsius, or 193 Fahrenheit to 215 Fahrenheit. Transmission level, Mercuron LV. Upper hashtags where we want to be. Sorry to reiterate after reiterate, but just wanted to be safe for you guys. Mechanic Dave, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a good evening.